What's up, otakus? Oh man, Monday was not. It's Monday, and just dealing with a lot of work issues right now. And of course, they all hit right as I'm about to call it a day. Everything comes through email, and there's just like a ton of stuff that I have to. And I've got. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but it's been an interesting Monday to say the least. Anyway, got stuff to do tomorrow, but just wanted to hop on because I got 2 packages in the mail today, and I just wanted to open them up. This might actually kind of brighten or improve my current mood. And we'll see. I also have to go to the hospital. I've got this persistent cough that I've been dealing with, and just looking at this message from my wife. And it's not going away. It's not getting better. It's not like I'm sick. I don't feel like I've got a virus or anything. But it's persistent, and my son's had it. My wife's had it. I don't know how they're doing now, but I'm thinking it's related to the air quality in our house. And let me know if any of you've experienced something similar. But there's something in the house that I think is just causing this cough to persist. I don't know if it's like mold or what, but it's something. It's just been going on for, it seems like, months now, and I know it's all members of my family have had it. It's been persistent in my son. We did get him checked out. The doctor didn't seem to be that concerned. They weren't really sure. I'm sure if I go to the doctor will probably say the same thing, but at least they can tell me if it's like some kind of bacterial or viral or whatever the infection is, or if it's just, again, I know in terms of getting the air quality tested in our house, that's like a big lift, financial lift that I don't think it's even an option. But I just want to make sure it's like there's nothing in the house that's killing us. And at the moment, there's no real viable way to do that outside of me doing it myself, like getting like a kit and testing it myself, I guess. But anyway, that's just like more stuff we got to kind of be worried about. I also have to cash that check later. All right, so let's just get to it. I am going to, let's see here. I'm gonna open this one first because I know what this one is. I actually know what both of them are. I'm just gonna open the envelope first and save the box for last. Like I mentioned, I got a bunch of stuff on eBay. We still have I think I had just like 2 more things that remain, or 3, I should say 3 things. One is a shipment of top loaders. The top loaders we got off Amazon, and they're scheduled to arrive, I think, Friday. We may get them before. But yeah, they're scheduled to arrive Friday. So I I'm sure I'll have a small like haul video or something on Friday to do. And the other two packages, one should be here by Wednesday, and I think one should be here by tomorrow. So got two additional pack deliveries. I think one is one book and the other is 3 books. And that latter package is care of Craven Hunts Comics. You can find him on Instagram at Craven Hunts Comics. Vetted guy. He's a very trustworthy seller. He has an accurate eye for grading. And I think his pricing is very, very fair. So go check him out. He's got a bunch of stuff. He's always posting stuff on his Instagram on what's available. He's also open to trades if you want to do trades. I've traded with him in the past. But anyway, this is from an eBay seller. And I just picked up this book. Ironically, I just picked up this book, which in hindsight is like not good, because I would have not picked it up had we known we were going to get this book. But this book was such a deal, I could not say no to this pickup. It was just too good of a deal, and we'll get into it. And I don't mind having, multiple copies if it's stuff I like. And this is definitely like a cover and book that I feel is significant. So we'll get into it. So yeah, very good packaging job on this one. Looks like it was bagged and boarded and then put in this nice little portfolio along with the eBay details. This is from Echo Valley Collectibles, and it's a near mint copy, or VF Plus to near mint copy. And again, I just picked this up, but I had to get this. We paid $17.63 for this signed book, a Jim Lee signed book. We had another Jim Lee signed book to the collection. This is a no-brainer. I just wish I hadn't picked up the raw copy. I paid $6 for just the raw copy over in Everett Comics, which at the time I was like, man, this is a book we've been looking for. Do I just overpay? We definitely overpaid on that book, but it's such a meaningful cover. It's Jim Lee's first cover on Gen 13. This is his creation. He wrote the story for this with Brandon Choi, and J. Scott Campbell did the artwork for this series. But we don't get a lot of Jim Lee art on this series, except with the exception of this cover. I think this is the first Jim Lee artwork on Fairchild and the team. So it's a popular book from its time. This was definitely on my radar of things to get, and I fortunately we kind of overpaid for it on the previous copy, but the signed copy, underpaying on a signed copy like this, again, the Jim Lee signatures are going for so much. If I had gotten this CGC signing event, it would have cost me $120 to slab. I think $60 just to get. I think his rates have gone up. I've seen shows where he's charging $65 just for one raw book signing. So, the guy's time is more valuable now. He's the president of DC Comics, and he's got to do executive stuff. So when he makes time to do fan related stuff, it's got to be, that his rates have gone up. Let's just put it that way. It's, post-COVID, inflation, all the good stuff. He's got to, He's got like, 12 children's mouths to feed, so he's a busy guy. But yeah, this is just a very simple, great signature there as well. Nice pops in blue there, and yeah, for $17, an incredible. I felt like it was something we couldn't pass up, especially on a book like this, where it's from the heart of Jim Lee's, like, as he was basically his like superstardom, right? He's enjoying his superstardom. He's had a long, illustrious career, but this Gen 13, Wildstorm, Wildcats, Image, those Image days are, I think, his most like significant as a creator, because these are all original. When he's at DC and Marvel, he's essentially, doing characters that have existed prior to him coming into comic books. Gen 13 is his baby. It's his creation. So to get like this first artwork on his creation with a signature on it is pretty special. All right. So that's one pickup. And I'm already in a better mood as we speak. I have to deal with work-related issues tomorrow, but that's tomorrow. And for now, I'm just like, work's over, and I'm gonna, after opening this and sharing it, I'm gonna go make myself some dinner. I might grab a beer, and I'm just gonna decompress from the day. Oh, okay. Wait, what's going on here? This is supposed to be one book, but he sent a box, and I don't know. I guess he just was being extra careful. It's a box. I don't know exactly what to make of this. It's a box with stuff in it, and somewhat of a makeshift comic mailer, I guess. A lot of cardboard here. This feels like it was MacGyvered to a certain degree. I hope I don't bend anything or nothing gets bent right now. And I know what this book is, so it's got a little bit of an issue, but I figured, again, for the price and what we paid, this was, I think, the most we spent out of all the out of all the things we purchased off of eBay this past week. The stuff we ordered, I should say, over the past week. This was definitely the priciest thing. And there's a little bit of an issue, but I knew that going in. But overall, I really, really am pleased with this. So we paid, just wondering if I don't know, we made an offer. This book, let me just go to the actual post to get you the exact amount of what we paid. This was purchased off of Mercari, and the initial posting, the guy had the initial posting of he had the initial listing posted at $50 plus a $4.99 delivery fee. And another thing he didn't put on here was the Mercari like processing fee. There's apparently a fee, and really Mercari should make that known, like that there's going to be additional fees related to purchasing this item. But yeah, it was $35 for the item. which we negotiated down from 50, but there was the delivery for $4.99 plus a service fee of $2.80 plus a payment processing fee of $1.86 plus tax. So I mean, that's just right there. There's like $11 worth of things outside of the item price. So that, I should say, about $13 worth of stuff. So that put us at $48.69, which is a lot more than the 35 we thought we were getting the book for. With all the fees and the delivery and stuff, it came out to closer to 50. But even at 50, I feel like, yeah, this is a book I think that warrants that. A lot of you might disagree. A lot of you might not see value in this particular book, but I definitely do. And that corner issue, I'm going to try to resolve with our, with the wood glue and the toothpick. Well, let me just cover what we got, because this is also going into a better bag and board as well. What we picked up was Man of Steel #1. I've got about 5 copies of this currently in the collection. This is, I think, my 6th copy. It's either my 5th or 6th copy. And this is not a special book in it by any means. It's, I think, a widely printed book. It is significant. It's the first official marketed variant cover. And there was a listing on Mercari a while back. Well, there are 2 listings. One with its John Byrne signature on the interior part of the book, which is great, but we want it here on the cover, this great cover. And then there was one where it was right on the, it wasn't John Byrne, it was just Byrne in like black ink. And that, I think the guy wanted, he wanted like $80 or something for it. And I made an offer that was close to like, I want to say 60 or so, which he did not accept. And it ended up selling for closer to what he wanted. So I just thought, well, I don't think I'll ever see or have an opportunity to get that book. Even though we want this book, I want, of all the Byrne books I want signed, it's like this one, right on the S there. And lo and behold, this one became available for 50, and I again sent in that offer for 35. They accepted, but with all the fees and tax and all that, it ended up being about 50 anyway, close to 50. But man, look at that beautiful John Byrne signature right there, perfect placement. Just absolutely phenomenal. Now, this is definitely a VF Plus copy. We've got spine ticks, and there's also a corner issue right there. You can see the corner got tagged. I don't know if that's a rip or just it's curled up. We're gonna hope, I'm just gonna try to get it folded down, maybe do some like glue adhesive time to just get it, the corner looking like it's, it's not an issue. And we're gonna move it into a bag and board. So yeah, I guess I can kind of walk through that process with you. We'll just do it. Let me get my work PC out of the way here. And hopefully you guys can see that. Let me get a new bag and board here to work with. Okay, let me get, I think the bag and boards are here. Nope. All right, hang on. got a bunch of bagging boards. No way to be found now. Had a bunch. Are they in the back here? Nope. All right, I'm just gonna pull this one. No, that's not. That is not a good one either. Sorry, guys. That is not a good one either. All right, either way, we'll get to the bag and board portion of this this program. But the most important thing is we want to just resolve the little corner issue here. And I'm hoping it's something that can be resolved with some adept handling here. So it looks like, this was a better looking copy, but as you can see, this bag suffered a little corner crunch. And yeah, just like I thought, it's something that we can at least turn over. There we go. And we can definitely do something with this corner. It's hanging on for dear life, but I feel like with a little bit of wood glue, we can get that looking real nice. All right, so I got this. I've wetted the fine tip of this, and what we want to do is just take this corner. There we go. Kind of bond it back to the cover. I don't know if you're getting a good angle of that. There we go. Let's put it right there. So it's going to lift the page up so we get a nice view. Oh, the corner goes into the interior pages as well. I'm not so concerned about the interior pages. I'm really just concerned about this portion here. All right, I'm just going to get some more glue. Now, if you get this corner wet enough with the wood glue, it's that adhesive element of the wood glue is going to absorb into the paper. And then what we're hoping is that wetness will then attach to what it's barely hanging on to. I actually got to get more water in here. Give me a second here. Get some water right here. Pour that in there. And oof. So just mix that water around. There we go. Yeah, when this wood glue, again, when you add, this glue dries out pretty quick, but when you add water, it kind of becomes like a paste again. And that's what we're really wanting. We're just wanting sort of like a thick consistency, a thicker consistency, more like a paste, so that, again, we want to get that nice consistency to where it gets really sticky, not too watery, and not too like solid sticky, but again, that just kind of like, we want to get to be kind of like, I guess like snot would be a good way to describe the consistency you want, which I have right here. Got a nice snotty. Oh, that's nice right there. In fact, I could probably just attach that little piece. All right, you see what I got there? It's like that comes into focus. No, it's not choosing to come into focus. There we go. All right, so you can see I just got a little bit of snot-like droplet there. And what I'm going to do is just lift this. Ooh, it's already stuck to the page. Boom. That's what I want. All right. I want that to dry so it doesn't. All right, I'm going to let that dry. It was not a lot of glue. You realize it's like edge to edge. All you need to get is that edge to adhere to the other edge. You don't even have to paste along the edge. The paper's so thin you can, again, it'll absorb. I got on the underside, so I just need to let that portion dry. And boom, it already looks better already. As you can see, like before, it was like kind of folded over, and I mean, it's still apparent that there's like a corner, but it's blue and it actually is a corner now, whereas before it was like white and it looked like it was folded over. I'm not showing you the best angle of that. You can see the angle at that angle. You can see the corners restored. It's blue. Just a little bit more right along that edge there. That's just gonna keep that. Boom. All right. Woo. Now, again, that could flake off at any moment in time and all that, but for now, I think we've stabilized it, and it, it looks great actually. It looks really, really nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move this over to, I guess I'm going to just use a Mylar bag. I've got a bunch of Mylar bags here. This might be good. Yeah, put it in here. We will put it in here and put this Batman book somewhere else. But yeah, nice. We'll have a nice presenting book here at the end of the day. You know, people will probably associate John Byrne with X-Men. And rightly so, you know, like I think some of John Byrne's best work was on the Claremont, his work with Claremont on the X-Men. And yeah, I mean, that is, it's legendary work. He defined a, basically, wait a minute. He basically resuscitated the X-Men for Marvel and made it their most popular property, IP. Wow, that is not wanting to go in there smoothly. It's clearing up. All right, let me just flatten it here. There we go. Yeah, you know, it's arguably his legacy in comics, even to this day. Like, you know, it was not that it was one of his earlier works in comics, but it was definitely at the start of his career. And a lot of people, again, will kind of continue to associate that as his, probably his legacy work. And again, I don't necessarily disagree with that assessment. But for me, it's his work on Superman that will be that I associate with as his legacy character. And you know, like, you talk to any artist, anybody working in the comic book industry, and this is true of like Jack Kirby, Todd McFarlane, the opportunity to work on Superman, because you know they had these like sort of Superman galleries where they put out, hey, we're doing like a Superman gallery, and they have basically a host of these books throughout the you know, especially during my collecting era, you had a lot of these Superman sort of gallery books or Superman like 80-page type works where just a bunch of artists get to collaborate and work on the character. And I mean, yeah, especially back in the day, it's like Superman was the character everybody wanted to work on, because it was the title for DC. It was the title in comic books. And not a lot of people got that opportunity. You know, it was so, it was limited to just a handful of talented artists from the golden age all the way up to the copper age. You didn't get that character being opened up to you know, just a bevy of talents that are out there. I guess right now, these days, you have more like opportunities because Superman has so many like related titles or adjacent titles where you can do Superman, you can integrate Superman into whatever work you're doing. So I'd say right now, you know, modern artists probably have an opportunity if they want to be able to contribute to a Superman book or the character, and have that have that exciting chance to work on the character. But at the same time, like, DC isn't just gonna get, you have to understand the assignment. So it's not just like, oh, I'm, the Greg Capullos of the world can't just walk up to DC and say, "Give me Superman." No, you gotta, like, there's like an audition and a rehearsal that you have to pass. And in fact, we haven't seen. I know, no, actually, Capullo has drawn Superman. It's not the best. Nothing against Greg Capullo, but like, his Superman's not that great. He can do certain panels of Superman, but like in terms of like just the full design and that, I don't think he does the best Superman. And that's no knock on him as an artist. It's just Superman's hard to do. It's almost like a form. It's like you have to, there are certain creators over time, and I think Byrne is definitely one of those who set a specific look for Superman, the modern look for Superman, which is what the assignment that Byrne got when he got this role at DC. He basically was like a Marvel guy. He comes to DC, they give him the big book, he puts it out. This big book had a lot of sort of, press and promotion and a lot of marketing done around it. Especially this series here, where he's, modernizing and giving Superman a revamped, modern feel. They basically rework the timeline, they rework a lot of the details around the character, and introduce sort of a new Superman for modern audiences. And that was done in the pages of this book, and it continued in volume 2, and it continued, through the death of Superman. And what we have currently is the foundation that this particular book built. Now, as great as that was on the having done it for X-Men, he took the X-Men, they revamped the artwork and created all these new additional characters, and Claremont, propelled them to like new adventures, new heights, and new looks and all that. And Byrne was critical in that. This was all Byrne. It was Byrne on as the writer, Byrne on pencils, Byrne on inks. It was just his baby. And I think at the time when this was released, it got a lot of people to read the book. But I don't think the reception was as positive as maybe DC would have liked. And that is in due part to maybe the decline of Superman's popularity. This was like right around when Batman was soaring, Superman was declining, and Marvel was just strong. The Marvel creators were just putting out the content that people wanted to read on a month-to-month basis. So it was kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like if we were to reset and do it today, if Byrne were to put this out in the bevy of things that we consume, this would probably get more, like in today's environment. Like I feel like Superman's making a comeback. And I feel like in this environment, this would be much better received than it was in the, mid 80s, latter part of the 80s. But anyway, that's just a long drawn out way of saying I love this book. And now I have the signed copy. And again, we got that corner looking pretty nice, I gotta say. And yeah, what an incredible addition to my collection. So this is a big one. It's a special one. And again, we paid a lot for it. We paid close to $50 for it. It's not a near mint copy. It's a VF Plus at best, but I'll take it. A signed, and I'm sure there's a lot of signed copies because, this was right around when the signing sort of culture was taking off. This was a book Byrne was out, in the community, in the um, as part of DC's marketing of this real big transition and shift around Superman. Byrne was doing all the press and the promotion for it, so I'm sure he signed uh, a lot of copies of this book, especially this variant cover book. So they're probably out there. For me, it's not a matter of scarcity over all that. It's just I want the book. I want the book. I want this book with Byrne's signature. I have a Superman book. I have two other Superman sort of related books that are both signed by Byrne, but those are great books too. But for me, this is the book I've always wanted a Byrne signature on. This right there, the Clark, taking the shirt off, changing into the Superman costume, and having Byrne's John Hancock right there, the center of the cover. So, such a good addition to the collection, and I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of add it to one of my other Byrne books here. Just gonna slide it in and have, I'm getting more top loaders. So when the top loaders come in, I'll house this in its own top loader when it comes. Is that gonna fit in there? It's pretty tight. So what I'll do for now is I'll take this book out because it's already protected in a very heavy bag. And I'll put this in to give it the protection. And then when we get the new top loaders, I'll put that one back in. And we'll just keep this one in this one here. I am actually, just looking at the book, I'm very happy with it. Very happy with the purchase. So, and the corner, I just thought, it's a little crunched up right there, but I bet with some TLC, we can get it looking blue again, looking like a corner again, and that's what we're able to do with the glue. Now that's already dry, and that's gonna hold its position from here on out. Unless I take it out and start messing with it, that corner is gonna pretty much stay on for the duration of its existence, I guess. That's adhered on really nicely. I mean, you can still tell there's a little bit of a tear there. But this isn't going anywhere. It's staying in my collection. So very happy with that. All right, that's it. Two books, both signed. We got added to the collection. We got a Jim Lee signed book, and we got this John Byrne. Again, paid a total of about 67. Well, what is it? No, so $65 for these two signed books. I think it's great value right there, if you ask me. All right, well, we got more stuff coming this week. Again, I got those 20 top loaders, got the BCW top loaders. I know there's some comic capsules and stuff out there that people love, and they look great. It's just I don't have $9 to spend on a capsule, no matter how nice it is. I'm not going to spend $9 on maybe for the bigger books. But if you want to get a pack of 10 for that, you're paying like $100 for a pack of 10. And I'd rather just spend that on books. I mean, this is enough protection for me. It's not, it's not doesn't have the UV protection, doesn't have the snap-on cover, but I feel like this one's easier to take out. It's sturdy enough protection, and I've got it, tucked away back here that I don't need UV protection on my books. I wish CGC would get to providing that UV protection on books. Well, actually, I don't, because I'm not going to use CVC, but I wish they had. I wish these slabs did have that UV protection. But yeah, it's something that definitely lacks. Presenting these. Yeah, I've got the shades down, but for whatever reason, if these shades were to ever go up and the light were to come in, these would get. It's getting a little bit like. It's getting a moderate amount of UV light, not direct sunlight, but you can see lights getting into the room. But hopefully that's not enough to fade and damage these books. I feel like that's, this kind of just, the luminosity in this room is not going to, it's the direct UV exposure that's going to fade. So pretty much, yeah, I'm happy with where this presentation's at. But yeah, if you had the UV protection, that would just make it so much easier. So yeah, the thing is, you really have to look at the collection and determine, okay, this is a book big enough to spend $9 to protect it in those comic capsules. And again, for a pack of 10, you're thinking like $100 investment right there. So you at least got to have 10 books that you deem are worth it. And then what you're ultimately creating is you're creating, a stratification of your collection. You're saying, okay, these are books worthy of, and then you fall down a rabbit hole. You're like, okay, well, I want them all protected. So you're just constantly adding capsules and all that. And it's a big investment. So for me, it's like, I am satisfied with how the top loaders work. Again, with the bag and the clear board from Clear Collect or Comic Clear and the BCW top loader, that entire package right there, it's more than enough protection. It's like a $3 per book investment versus $9. So I feel like these top loader slabs are like the cost value difference is justified. I don't think paying $6 for UV protection or just the snap tight kind of like case like feel is necessarily worth $6. But then again, I know the community members love it, and I definitely see that. I'm like, it'd be nice to have that as part of my collection. It's just hopefully they come down in price. Hopefully they get it closer to like 4 or 5. Because at that point, I think, yeah, it'd be worth spending the extra dollars to get what is obviously a better way to present and protect your books. Taking nothing away from Comic Castle. They made a great product. Looks like it's fabulous. It's just $9 per book is steep. So again, if you have, I guess the moral of the story on the comic capsules is if you have enough like big boy books that you just want to pop in there and just keep in there, it's worth getting. And we have a couple of those books. So, I think everything I have here presenting is well worth preserving in that manner. It's just, we'll have to see. Just right now, I'm not wanting to do that. I've got to get books. So I haven't gotten anything new since we kind of made the decision. Okay, I bought a bunch of stuff on eBay, did our haul. We're waiting for the next paycheck. But even when we get the next paycheck, the most I want to spend per week is like 20. So that'll be enough to go to like a comic shop, still pick up a nice haul, but nothing major. And just really picking up this small specific things that we were wanting to add. I've got 2 more packages on their way. We'll unbox those when those get here. But come Friday, we should have another haul video. But what I hope to go over is kind of formulating. I already have my wish list, but kind of going over and formulating and really prioritizing that list, because it's a big list. It's a long, exhaustive list. There's really so many number of things that if we ran into it, we'd pick up. But when we go to Vancouver and we're running around like a chicken with our head cut off, what we want to do is we want to go to all the vendors and just ask, hey, do you have these 4 or 5 books? And just keep asking. And if they have it, get the price and compare who has the best grade for the best price and all that. And without those 4 or 5 books in mind, it's just going to be this kind of wall hunting and just getting distracted and all that. So I really want to hone in on at least 10 books, where we hope to come back with at least 30%, 3 big books. And I already kind of know what at least 3 or 4 of those books are right now, but to have the full list of 10, just so again, I've been to events where I've gone and looked for books, no one has it, so you kind of have to have a backup plan. And so it'd just be good to not waste time and be okay, do you have this book? No. Do you have this book? No. Do you have this book? And just get the full kind of range, check mark that at that vendor, go to the next vendor and do it systematically. So where you're just kind of okay, this guy has this guy has that, this gal has this gal has that, and just putting that list or that formulating that strategy so that we can say, okay, this guy has the best price, weigh that decision and decide if we're going to go through with the purchase or not. So we're going to go into building up that wish list or that want list this Friday. Going to go over the haul, we'll go over the books that we're targeting. And it'll be kind of a week-to-week thing, because I don't think it's going to be one where I sit down and be okay, I have my 10 now. No, it's going to kind of be organic. It's going to ebb and flow where maybe we won't target this book. We'll target this book instead. So I'll continue to kind of give you updates on formulating that list. It continues to evolve because I'm constantly getting stuff on my radar. But I will say one of the things that we'll target in Vancouver is a Golden Age Superman book. And that is very important to me. I have a couple books in mind, but they're big books. So, we don't have enough saved up. It's not even a conversation we can have. So hopefully just that notion and thought alone will keep me disciplined on saving, not spending a lot, because we're about 5 to 6 weeks out from the event. And hopefully we'll have enough to at least negotiate and keep that book as a consideration. Because once we have that big book out of the way, I'm sure we'll have maybe a couple $100 or whatever left over. At that point, I'm not trying to pick up big books. I'm just going to probably dig for value books and try to pick up some of the tertiary wish list stuff when we get around to it. So a lot of it's a lot of data and kind of things to keep in mind, because you never know what you're going to run into. You never know what they're going to cost. But again, having sort of a priority list won't distract you from picking up other stuff to where you can't pick up the main stuff. So, like I said, with that list of 10, we're not even gonna pay $1 for anything until we've gone around the vendors. We've asked, do you have this book? Do you have this book? And they're all going to be wall books, they're not going to be oh, they might be in the bin. No, these books are all going to be like, oh yeah, I have that book. I have it, carefully stashed away, or like it's on the wall, or it's behind some kind of counter or something. It's like they will know if they have that book or not, or the books or not. And so that's kind of like, we want to get a good inventory of what people have, and then just hone in. Okay, that guy's this for this price. We're gonna go there. We're gonna haggle. We're gonna negotiate down, get it, and go move on to the next book. So that'll just kind of happen till we kind of run out of money, I guess, and hopefully have a good, $150 saved up for just looking for other junk. I shouldn't say junk. Looking for other books. All right. Again, I'm having a lot of fun this summer. We're just a couple weeks in, and I've already picked up a lot of like incredible stuff, and so I'm just really happy with the way the summer is turning out. I mean, come on, looking at this, can you not be? That's just genuinely goodness right there. So yeah, thanks for watching. I know most people aren't tuning in on Monday, but when you get a chance on the rewind, appreciate you. Hope to continue to bring the fire. And yeah, we'll see you back in the next one. Peace out.